11? Grade 11.
Yes, miss.
Let's start.
Yes.
Yes.
Miss, what are we going to take?
Second read.
Okay.
Second read of Prospectus of the Liberator and the speech to the anti-slavery. Okay, girls, second read. Who are these men?
They're Douglas and Frederick.
Frederick.
And PowerPoint, can't you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, Mr. William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass.
Yes, William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass. The leaders of abolitionist movement. Abolitionist movement, William Lloyd Garrison, he was most radical white abolitionist newspaper, The Liberator, 1831. Frederick Douglass, he escaped as a slave, became an abolitionist author and speaker. Now we understand, girls? Are you following?
Yes.
William Lloyd Garrison, in the first excerpt, asked to free the slaves. Then, after the 13th Amendment was written, that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as a punishment for crime. Yani, no man is forced to be a slave or to serve involuntary except as a punishment, yani except if he is in a jail for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Section 2, Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation, that they force people to follow this rule, the 13th Amendment. After 13th Amendment, the Society, Anti-Slavery Society to disband, gathered to disband, what Frederick Douglass said or convinced them not to do, because there are still things they haven't finished. Okay? Are you here, girls?
Yes.
Yes, Kadra. Malika, sorry. Malika. Read the question, Malika.
What do the words gradual and moderation mean to Garrison? How does Garrison develop the meaning of these themes throughout the speech?
What is gradual and moderation, teacher? In the page 65, you will find in line 9, gradual abolition. So what gradual abolition and moderation? It was in line 66 when he said, you want me to be moderate? I cannot be moderate. So what gradual and moderation mean to Garrison? They mean what to him?
Gradual means to gradually freeing the slaves.
Yes. He accepts that?
No, he wants to immediately free them.
Yes. Now and immediate. Immediately.
Yes, moderation means to be calm.
Yes. To be moderate, yes.
Yes, to be calm and stop talking about freeing slavery. He says, tell a man whose house is on fire to give a moderate alarm.
Yes. Okay. How does he develop? Okay. So read it. Read the answer, Malika.
To Garrison, gradual and moderate means injustice.
Injustice, yes. If you want the gradual abolition, it is injustice. And if you want me to be moderate, it is also injustice.
Garrison develops these terms by explaining how absurd it is to act moderately when people's lives are at stake.
Lives are at stake. You ask me to be moderate while people's lives are at stake. People's life are facing dangers. Okay.
He gives examples of rescuing someone from a fire or from being isolated.
Yes. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, thank you, Malika. Okay, Dima.
Yes.
Yes, Dima, read the second question.
How do Garrison and Douglas use stirring, beautiful language to persuade people to agree with them?
Yes, how did they use language to persuade them?
Do I explain or give evidence?
Yes, both, as you want.
Using strong words makes people see them as a idol
Yes,
or
great.
a huge thing, so they
Yes,
will listen to them.
yes. Any other thing?
Evidence.
I will help you. Douglas Garrison, when he compared the situation to what? When they said to him, be moderate, he showed them what?
To a baby on fire.
Yes,
Yeah,
to
he
mother.
explained it.
yes. If you ask me to be moderate, go and ask a mother whose baby is on fire to be moderate. Okay? Okay. What about Douglas?
That keep or bear arms.
Yes, they can't bear arms or keep arms, the slaves. So he gave evidences to tell them that the slaves are not free yet. Okay, read it, Dima.
There's nothing on the screen. Now.
Oh.
Garrison likens a gradual and modern stance on the issue of slavery to give a moderate alarm when a house is on fire. He uses the comparison to make the issue of slavery seem as urgent as a home burning down.
Okay, so he compared the home burning down or a mother babies is on fire with slavery. Douglas.
Uses
Rhetorical.
rhetorical questions such as what advantages a provision like this amendment?
Yes.
The legislature
Those
of
who
any
who
state
make the legislation, write laws.
can tomorrow declare that no black man's testimony shall be received in a court of law. He answers his own question, illustrating his point of view.
Yes, thank you. Maya? Question number 3, Maya.
Yes. How does the visual imagery in lines 93-95 support Douglas' argument?
In 993 and 995, if you go to Douglas 90, you don't? How? Yes. 73 girls, not 63, not 93. I'm sorry, 63. How does the visual imagery in lines in 63 and 65 support Douglas' argument when he said, what is it worth? Not a straw. Not a straw. What is a straw, girls?
The thing you
The
drink.
tool we used to drink with.
Huh? Yes, a straw is what we drink with. And this is what? He compared what to a straw? The loyalty of people in the South. He doesn't trust them. Okay? Okay, I will tell you the answer here. I will explain it for you. He compares the value of loyalty in South Carolina to a straw. So it means that it doesn't exist. It is nothing. The image of 2 pieces of straw, which has no value. It means he has no faith in their loyalty. Why, girls, he has no faith in their loyalty?
Because they are
changed
with
their mind
the
quickly.
slaves.
Yes, they refused to free slaves and they got into a war. Okay, the second phrase when he said glistening bayonets, this is in the picture, is the bayonet. Glistening bayonets is this, glistening, shining. Calls to mind an image of the South being loyal only when policed by the soldiers of the Union. They freed the slaves, not because they wanted to free the slaves, they freed the slaves because they had to free the slaves. So they are loyal only on the surface of their hearts, not from their hearts. They are loyal only on the surface. You know, when you say something but you do not believe in it, you say, okay, let's free them. They are forced to free them. They didn't want to. So he cannot trust their loyalty. Understand, girls?
Yes.
Yes.
So these ideas strengthen the idea that the 13th Constitution and Amendment is not a cure all for prejudices. Against prejudices, it means when you are so enthusiastic about one side. Against and the suffering of African American who are unable to vote or testify in a court of law. If you don't understand anything, please ask me, because here we will finish and then we will move to the second read. Okay. In the second read, girls, here, yes, we will. Yes.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yes, go. Now, girls, we will understand how to use rhetoric to get what you want. Do you watch TED, girls, these programs that men stand on stage and they tell what did they see or how did they suffer their life and try to persuade or influence other people?
Yes.
Yes. How to use this? The art of writing this, because you cannot just take a piece of paper and write whatever is in your mind and go say it. No, you have to arrange your ideas, and there is a technique used to influence people or influence audience. So how to use rhetoric to get what you want? How it is related to our topic, teacher? Because we took two excerpts of two people who wanted to influence others, Garrison and Douglas. They did what? They used rhetoric devices to persuade their audience. What is rhetoric again? Rhetoric is to influence or to convince others with your opinion. Art of writing or speaking formally and effectively to persuade audience. What is rhetoric, girls? Art of writing or speaking?
The art of writing.
Yes, to persuade audience.
Persuade audience.
Yes, to how to use rhetoric to get what you want. Aristotle is the first one who talked about this. Aristotle, imagine hundreds of years ago, Aristotle said that in order to influence others or to persuade other people, you should have three parts of a triangle to convince others. Ethos, pathos, logos. You should use ethos, pathos, logos. They are what? They are modes of persuasion that the speaker uses to convince the audience. So Aristotle was a Greek philosopher. You know what is a philosophy? Philosophy is the person who used to think and ask questions of the mind and try to find answers for those questions. Aristotle was the first one to coin these terms. He invented these: ethos, pathos, and logos. So what are ethos, pathos, and logos? Ethos, girls, refers to ethics. Ethics, okay? And it is credibility. I will explain later. Pathos, passion, emotion. Logos, logic. Okay? Ethos, pathos, and logos. Let's start with the first one, which is ethos. What is ethos? Okay? Linda, read ethos, yeah, Linda?
Ethos or ethical appeal.
Ethos, ethical.
Is used to describe the audience's perception of the speaker's or author's authority or credibility. Note that the meaning is different from the usual definition of ethical.
Yes.
An author uses...
It means what? It means that it depends on the speaker's or the author's authority or credibility. How? An author will use the ethos to show that he knows what he is talking about and that he is worth listening to. Girls, you know when you go to the doctor? Huh? Do you see the picture, girls?
Yes. Yes.
When you
Yes.
go to the doctor will say what to you? She will give you a medicine. When you get out of there, you will go to the pharmacy to buy the medicine, or you will go back home?
Go to the
I will go
pharmacy.
to buy the medicine.
Why would you buy the medicine? Because you trust the doctor, right? How
Yes.
do you trust the doctor? Because this is it. Trusting someone because of his credibility. I trust her. She is a doctor. She has studied for 7 years and she had made masters and PhDs to give me the medicine. So I trust her. So I know who is talking about what, and I trust her. Yani, she worth listening to. Okay, as you see in this picture, you sure the doctor, this drug has no side effects? Of course, trust me, I'm a doctor. This is ethical appeal. Persuasion based on credibility, when I trust this person. Like example, a doctor who has spent many years treating cancer patients asks for money to fund promising new research to cure cancer. Would you pay him or not? If you heard about a doctor who has spent many years of his life treating cancer patients, and then he wants money to fund a research, would you pay him or not, girls?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the doctor has a strong ethos because of his profession and experience. Examples of ethos, other examples that we see around us. When I see Julia Roberts give me an advertisement about Lancome, I trust that Julia's skin is so bright and this. People will go directly to buy it without even thinking. Julia Roberts uses Lancome. I have to use Lancome too. Okay, when you look at the advertisement, did you read any details about the foundation or about this product?
No.
You just look at what?
The picture?
The picture of Julia Roberts. So in this advertisement, they depend on her personality. Her credibility. I know Julia Roberts. If Julia Roberts said that Lancome is good, so Lancome is good. When Taylor Swift gives me an advertisement about Diet Coke, I trust Taylor. When Jennifer Aniston talks about this cream, I trust Jennifer. A healthy skin routine for a beautiful skin, and she shows us her skin. Girls in Apple, you know, Apple iPhones, and they make conferences. They people go and buy Apple because of what? Because it's Apple. Steve Jobs' Apple. So they trust the man, they trust the company, they trust Apple. This is ethos. You do not read a lot about the product itself. You do not read about a lot about the doctor, that the research he wants to do. You just trust the person, and then you go. This is ethos.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, if you were talking to someone you just met, how would you use ethos?
If you would like to someone, dear, what?
If you just met someone,
Yes.
and you start up a conversation and you try to convince them about something, how can you use ethos when you just met them?
Listen, dear, this here, ethos here, it depends on I, not him. It depends on the speaker himself, not the listener.
Yes, but how
Ethos,
can he trust me? He just met me.
they should know you. In ethos, he should know you. I should know Julia Roberts. I should know Steve Jobs. I should know Taylor Swift. I should know them. So they have the credibility, not the audience. I will tell you now the other two methods, okay? So done with the ethos, girls, you understand what is ethos? It depends on the credibility and authority of a person. Ethos, ethics, authority, credibility. Understand ethos, girls?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
shall we move to the second one is pathos. And pathos triggers your emotions, emotional appeal. Okay, Tia, are you here? Tia?
Yes, Miss, I'm sorry.
Please read it, Tia.
Shall I read from Pathos at the beginning?
Yes, pathos.
Pathos, or emotional appeal, appeals to an audience's sense of identity, their self-interest, and their emotions. Authors use pathos to create sympathy for their cause and stir emotions of love, pity, fear, and perhaps anger or indignation.
Yes, so the speaker or the author will play on the emotional part of the speaker. Okay? How create sympathy for their cause. How teacher, look, if a human rights worker who shares the stories of African, if we go to a conference and a man of a human rights worker shares the stories of African and he shows us pictures and he tells us about those African refugees who flee from civil war and the awful conditions they have, what will happen for us? We will emotionally be what? Huh?
Sympathetic.
Yes, we will have sympathy for them. Okay? How? So pathos is often stirred through keen use of language, description, repetition, key phrases, rhetorical questions, figurative language, and anecdote. Again, in pathos, we use figurative language. We play on the figurative language when we compare two things, and we will apply it now to our passage. How did he compare two things in the pathos, using pathos? How he asked critical questions. Look, girls, at these pictures. When I see those pictures, what do I understand? When I see this woman holding this, here is the rest of your fur coat. Do I know the woman?
No.
Do I know this animal?
No.
But I look at the picture, they played on my emotions when I look this dead animal, when I look at this dead animal without a fur. So she wants me to stop wearing fur.
Fur coat.
Yes, fur coats. Okay? Stop trashing our oceans. So this is about what? Throwing plastics in the ocean, in the waters, in the seas. Because this do what to the animals?
Puts
Look
their
at the
life
picture,
in
girls.
jeopardy.
Harms them. Yeah.
Yes, this harms the animals. When I look at this picture of a baby, so I'm not influenced by the person in the picture or the speaker. I'm not influenced by his credibility. I am influenced of what he gives me. He plays on my emotions. When I look at this dog, your support makes a difference. Donate today. When I look at this boy or this girl, she has the power to change the world. You have the power to help her to do it. I am powerful. So maybe when you look at the picture, they play on your emotions. This words, a hand of words, this shows the power of the word that you say to children. So these are pathos, girls. When you play on the emotions of the audience.
Miss, so this means that most of the news on TV, they are pathos.
Pathos, yes.
Pathos.
Actually, for a successful rhetorical passage, I should use 3 of them for the most successful one. But what if I cannot get a trustful person, an ethos, so pathos. And I will tell you the last one now. So we have to gather the 3 or 2 of them. Okay? So, for example, Martin Luther King is a speaker. He gave a speech. I will tell you later. I will give you examples later, but let me just finish this. So, pathos is when a do not know who is the human rights worker. He is not Julia Roberts, but he shared the stories about refugees. So I get sympathy with these stories by heart. That's why in this picture, pathos is heart, picture of heart. Okay? Then we go to the logos. Logos, as we said, is from logical appeal. Tries to convince me by logical reasons. Okay? Okay, girls? Inductive or deductive reasoning? Inductive reasoning, when a speaker makes a claim and he supports the claim with facts, he gives me facts, he gives me numbers, he gives me research, he gives me testimonies, examples. So this kind of persuasion depends on what, girls? Scientific method, not playing with the heart, no, playing with what, girls? When I give you facts, I play with what? Mind. I play with the mind. So, for example, when I say the United States should not become involved in further conflicts in the Middle East. Why? Because it is costly and distracts us from more important domestic issues such as the economy and poverty. So here I am giving reasons. I am talking to your mind. So I don't care who is talking, because he is talking to my mind, not my heart. And then the deductive reasoning starts with several statements that are assumed to be true and then draws a conclusion based upon these. For example, all men are mortal. All men are mortal. They will die at the end. Aristotle is a man, so he will die. Okay? Smoking causes cancer. Cancer kills you, so smoking kills you. This is deductive reasoning. When I two sentences which are related, and then I get to know the last result. Smoking causes cancer, cancer will kill you, thus smoking will kill you. Okay? Here, girls, you see a picture of Coke, but in the cup, it's not Coke, it's fat. It's fat, you know the fat inside the body?
1 second.
Here, do you know who is holding the Coke? The Coke? No. So it's not ethos. Does he talk to your heart?
No.
No. He gives you what? Don't drink yourself fat. Get back on soda and other sugary beverages. Go with water, seltzer, low-fat milk. Instead, don't drink fat. It means drinking Coca-Cola or Pepsi. It means you drink fat in your body. Here, when he says to you, less guilty, more pleasure, this is baked chips. Baked chips. So fried chips, the fat is this. Kettle style chips is this. Okay, and pop chips is this. The fat is less, the carbs is less, the protein is less, the fiber is less. Okay, so it is healthier. When he gives you 9 out of 10 people who share injection needles test positive for HIV or AIDS. Be the one who doesn't. Don't share your surgeons. Okay? Injection, you know the injection, girls, don't use it from one to another. Don't share injections. 1 in 5 women will be a victim of sexual assault during her college years. Stand up and speak up. You are girls.
Yes.
Teacher, I have a question.
I will just say this and then you ask me a question. Don't forget it, dear. 1 in 5 women. So here it is a static, girls. Tells me that 1 of the 5 girls, victim for sexual assault during college. He gives me a fact. Yes, dear. What is your question?
The ad for that says less guilty, more pleasure. Isn't this considered a pathos too?
He's giving me facts.
Yes, but they're also talking like guilt and pleasure.
Okay, but yes, you are right. But he depends more on facts that you will read. Yani, less guilty just to trigger you, and then he gives you facts. So great, dear.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
but you understand me that in logos he gives you facts.
Yes.
He didn't give me Taylor Swift to talk about it. He didn't talk to my heart. He talked to my mind. This is logos. In cartoons, girls, ethos and pathos and logos. In Frozen, have you watched Frozen?
Yes.
Yes. Ethos was Ona, the morals, and that everyone is good and I love everybody. The pathos, the passionate one, was Elsa. When she was so passionate, she loved her sister a lot. That's why she locked herself in her room for years. But who was the one who was using logic? I don't remember
Elsa.
his name. No, the boy.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember his name. I remember the Olaf, the snowman, but I don't remember his name. Okay. In Harry Potter, you saw Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 What is ethos?
Oh.
Ethos, the one, the Harry Potter himself. Pathos was his friend. He was passionate. But who was the one who used to think of the numbers and the facts and logic?
Hermione.
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 Yes, Hermione. Okay. Yes. The time of the period has finished, girls?
Yeah, I guess.
We
No,
finished.
miss.
No,
5 minutes are done.
Yes, great.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we finished. Yes, we still have time. Alhamdulillah, I was so worried. So we go to page. We finished 71. We go to page 72. This is how William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass used it. So, in Prospectus for the Liberator, William Lloyd Garrison, when he said, I see this opportunity to make a full and unequivocal recantation and thus publicly to ask pardon of my God, of my country, of my brethren, the poor slaves, okay, for having uttered a sentiment so fully of timidity, injustice, and absurdity. How did he use ethos here? Ahad, where are you, Ahad? Ahad? Yes, Ahad. How William Lloyd Garrison use ethos here? Why this is an example of ethos? The author of the book brought you the example. He wants he wants you to tell him why this is an example of ethos.
He used ethics?
Yes, listen. Ethos depends on the person himself, the speaker himself, the author himself. So what did he say here related to himself? What did he say here related to himself? Where is himself?
Pardon of my God?
Of my country and of my brethren of poor slaves for having uttered a sentiment so fully. It means he has changed his mind, Yahad.
Yes.
He himself changed his mind. It means that everyone else can change his mind too.
Yes.
Okay, read it, Yahad.
This statement is an example of ethos because Garrison uses it to show the audience how he has charged his mind. He calls upon God, his country, and slaves as witness to his change of heart by stating his change of opinion in this way. Garrison portrays himself as humble, able to admit when he is wrong and make things right.
So here, girls, he is talking about himself. So the audience will believe him because he is William Lloyd Garrison, has changed his mind and he asked forgiveness from God, country, and from his brothers, the blacks. to witness the change. It is related to what, girls? To his personality, to the speaker himself, to William Lloyd Garrison himself. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What about, it's not written for you. Frederick Douglass is not written for you, right?
No, it's not written.
So I want you to think. Hiya, Maya. Can you think of the part that Frederick Douglass used ethos? I will tell you. When he says I at the beginning of the paragraph, at the very beginning, page 67, at the very beginning. Hi, Maya.
Miss, can I go to the bathroom?
Yes, miss.
Yes, yes. Hi, Maya, read it.
Miss, can you hear me now?
Yes, hi, Maya, read it.
On February 1?
67. I do not wish to appear here.
Oh, okay. I do not wish to appear here in any fault-finding spirit, or as an impugner of the motives of those who believe that the time has come for this society to disband. I am conscious of no suspicion of the purity and excellence of the motives that animate the president of this society, William Lloyd Garrison.
Yes.
And other gentlemen who are in favor of its disbandment.
Yes, here. He talked about himself, girls. He talked about himself. Leah, are you with me, Leah? Leah? لين مطر. ليا. لين الحاج.
Yes.
Yes, Lean. How, ya Lean? This is an example of ethos. What is an example of ethos, teacher? When Frederick Douglass said, I don't wish to appear here in any fault-finding spirit. I'm not doubting you. I'm not conscious of no suspicion of the purity and excellence of you and the motivation that you want to disband. I'm not doubting this. I trust you, and I trust the president of the society. I trust William Lloyd Garrison. I trust all of you who wants the disbandment. So how this is an example of ethos? He talks about himself. What does he want the audience to know about him?
That he trusts them.
Excellent, that he trusts them. He wants them to know that he trusts them, and he has no doubts of them. Are you with me, girls?
Yes.
Yes.
Lean it, Yaleen.
This statement is an example of ethos because Douglass is concerned about how he is perceived by his audience. He doesn't want to be thought of as malicious or making judgments about the motives of people involved.
Okay. You understand how ethos was applied in the two passages?
Yes.
So let's go to PATHOS.
Miss, the page is finished.
Finish now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 26.
Don't we? Okay. Yes, yes. The third period starts at 9:30. Okay, girls, we'll continue next time.
Okay, bye.
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 Please revise it, girls. Revise it, girls. Okay.
Bye.
Okay.